Aloha, Priestess Maya Ananda here, and I am coming to you from the bold, big and beautiful island of Hawaii, not in my rainforest garden, as you can see, but at a lovely spot in downtown Hilo. And I'm coming to you today with some guidance and discussion on holidays, because we've just finished a holiday weekend, and quite frankly, it doesn't really matter which one, because they all kind of put your word in. But this morning, the message that I'd like to share is these two words: holidays, expectations. Don't put them together. That's number one. Very easy. You know, when you're with a life partner, you fall into this routine, right? Every holiday is maybe you do one thing or another with the families. You've got traditions with the kids. You maybe have your own traditions and holidays, special things with your loved one. And then when suddenly that person is not there, you've got all of this other stuff, right? Life and traditions and routine. And you're like, what do I do? So many people that find their way to me for counsel just kind of go along with the flow, like family invites you places, right? They want to include you. But here's the thing, and those of you who are with me here, and understand, because you too have lost a life partner. The inclusion is you and your beloved. The rest of the world is their own bubble. So there's no more you in that other bubble. It's a crafting of new bubbles and new situations. So there's women who are pulled into, family gatherings that they've done. But it's not the same, because you don't have that person next to you. It's like you have that life partner and you're one tree and they're another tree. And when that other tree is gone, you kind of topple over. And they end up feeling worse. For myself, I remember that first couple years when my partner was gone. Not only is it the holiday itself, but it's the lead up to the holiday that is just all this angst built up, because the holidays are coming, and we put so much around that holiday. Then the day comes, and it is what it is. And then afterwards, there's the fallout afterwards, because you're exhausted. You're exhausted because you've been in this state of panic, fight or flight, leading up to the holiday of itself, which is draining. And then afterwards, you're just left more drained than you already are, being in the state of grief. So what I am offering you and granting you is permission to cut yourself loose from those obligations that you have in your mind. Remember, an obligation is something we put on ourselves. You have a choice, sisters, every moment of every day. And I am here to offer you the choice of you, putting you first. So that might mean that you just don't celebrate that holiday, maybe for some years. Maybe you just decide to spend that time with yourself in seclusion. In grief, there's a lot of seclusion. And people think, oh, that's unhealthy. Okay, as a grief counselor, there is a fine line between an unhealthy amount of there's not even amount of time. That's not the right thing. It's a mindset of being alone. But there's also the journey within, and that journey within is a time of cocooning. It's a time of being with ourselves, to understand how we feel, understanding what our physical body is saying to us, what it needs in those moments. And it's the recrafting of us in a new phase of life. And that takes time, and it takes solitude, and it takes stillness. So I wholeheartedly offer and suggest time to lay fallow, time to be in that cocoon, but also at the same time to know that you have support of a like-minded tribe, which is what I'm building and creating here at All Good Grief, where you have that space to yourself, but yet know that you have a lifeline of women who get it. And I'm looking into different platforms that allow the engagement that I feel is right for this group. So it's coming. But in the meantime, back to holidays and expectations. Just don't have any. We will talk more about expectations in general in grief, and quite frankly, it's just very simple. Don't have any expectations, and others should not certainly have any expectations of you. It's a time of shift, a time of change, and can lead to transformation, but some work has to be done. But in the meantime, holidays, they are rough. They can be. But we can make them easier simply by honoring what we are feeling in the moment and what we need. And again, if that means shutting the door and saying, please respect my grief right now, I've got this, but I need to just be by myself. I'm not going to color Easter eggs. I'm not going to put up a tree. That's okay. Do what you feel feels right for you in that moment, knowing that your loved one who's not here in the physical but is with you energetically, and we will be talking much more on that and how to connect to your loved one in new ways. But that's enough for right now, because it's going way off our topic of holidays and expectations. The rooster is crowing. I guess that's my sign to sign off. I'm Priestess Maya Ananda, coming to you from the island of Hawaii, reminding you, sisters, that you are important. Your voice, your life, your light are important, and that this is a life of magic and miracles. Transformation awaits, one day, one breath, one step at a time. My heart is with you. Aloha and many blessings, sisters.